Would you take a third penalty kick after missing the first two? No way, right? Well, Sony's doing another live-action Resident Evil, and after a history that feels more like a horror movie, and not in a good way, they're saying this time it'll work. New director, John Wick writer, big talk about old-school horror, but is it really happening, or are we gonna leave the theater missing that Netflix dumpster fire? Stick with me, because today we're digging up this franchise's grave to see if there's anything left to save. Hey there, survivors of the cinematic zombie apocalypse! This is Frog Frank, the frog who's died of secondhand embarrassment more times than Wesker in a bad adaptation. And today, my friends, we're talking Resident Evil. Again, yes, again, another live action. And the big question is, will the 2026 movie finally honor Capcom's legacy? Or will it make us cry pixelated blood in the darkness of the movie theater?
Frank, are you sweating just thinking about that Netflix series? You remember it, right? 2022? 8 episodes of pure chaos that pissed off the entire fan base in record time. It felt like a rushed fanfic written by a zombie intern. They gave Wesker daughters, threw in rave zombies, and worst of all, no one even acted like they knew they were in a Resident Evil series.
Wool. I had nightmares from that. And not the fun zombie kind. The cringe so hard your soul leaves your body kind. Smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what's the worst game adaptation you've ever seen? Let's get spicy. Let's be real. Resident Evil in theaters is like the zombies from the games. No matter how many times you take it down, it keeps coming back. The franchise had 6 movies starring Milla Jovovich, all directed by her hubby. And with each one, the story drifted further from the actual games. We had clones, superpowers, wall-jumping zombie dogs, and even that laser hallway scene, which the game later copied, by the way.
And the craziest part? Even though they messed up the lore completely, those movies made a truckload of money. So instead of stopping, they were like, what if we messed up again?
In 2021, they promised a reboot closer to the games with Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. And the result? A cinematic Frankenstein trying to shove 2 full games into one movie. What did we get? A film that somehow made people miss the Jovovich era. Yeah, that stung. And now, Sony's stepping back into the ring with a new shot. A live-action set for 2026 directed by Cregger, the guy who nailed it with Barbarian. And the script? It's coming from Shay Hatten, who brought us those beautifully choreographed brawls in John Wick 3 and 4. No actors confirmed yet, no teaser either. But the director already said the film will follow a single protagonist, focusing on psychological tension, claustrophobia, and that classic low-health, no-ammo vibe, just like the early games.
If that's true, it's a big shift. At the very least, it sounds like they're listening to the fans, or they're really good at pretending.
They're promising that classic survival horror flavor. Now, we just want to know, is it seasoned with respect or spoiled by producer ego? Because after all these misfires, this might be the franchise's last bullet in the clip. All right, so we know who's behind this new take. But what exactly are they promising this time? Cregger, the guy who nailed that slow burn tension in Barbarian, said straight up at CinemaCon that this movie is going full-on classic Resident Evil vibes, dark hallways, tight spaces, red health bar, and that constant feeling of, uh-oh, I'm out of ammo, well, guess I'm dead.
So it's the good old hardcore survival mode from the games, right? Where you end up walking backward with a knife, scared to open any door.
Exactly. And the coolest part? The movie will follow just one main character. A journey from point A to straight up hell, hitting every scare and badly placed zombie like it's personal.
If they actually stick to that, it already sounds better than half the adaptations we've seen.
But hey, we've heard this song before. In 2021, they promised faithfulness. They hyped loving recreation of Raccoon City. What we got was a blender of references and broken promises. So yeah, we'll believe it, but with 1 foot grounded and a shotgun loaded. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't always need a game adaptation to be 100% faithful. Sometimes you can go wild, twist things around, try new ideas, and still have fun. But, and it's a big but, the truth is, most fans do want accuracy. Especially with Resident Evil, where some fans literally know which alley every zombie was born in back in Raccoon City. Now, talking about staying true to the source is easy. The real challenge is capturing the vibe. Resident Evil isn't just about punching monsters. It's psychological tension. It's running out of ammo. It's that pure panic moment of, oh crap, there's a liquor in the hallway and I'm holding a butter knife.
Even if this new movie nails that atmosphere, don't you feel like it's a little too late? Like maybe 10 or 15 years too late?
Absolutely, Wool. They should have done this back when survival horror was hot. Now the genre's been stretched thin, turned into parody. Heck, we've even had zombie musicals with dance numbers. If you're going to take it seriously now, it better be done right. And you know what else? Look at the game movies that did work. Sonic, Mario, Minecraft. They leaned into the fun, kept it light, colorful, made for kids, and nostalgia brought the parents in. Mario? Okay, that one managed to hit both generations. But Resident Evil, that's not a kid's franchise. That's survival horror. Creepy corridors, heads exploding in the dark. It needs to be handled with respect. So here's the deal. If they're gonna do it right, then go for it. Focus on the fear, the tension, the mystery, but if it's just another lazy cash grab with a famous name slapped on and a half-baked script, then honestly, just toss it in the same grave as the Netflix series. And now it's up to you, survivors of Raccoon City and emotionally scarred moviegoers. Let's crack open the nostalgia vault and shine a flashlight into the abandoned labs of gamer memory. What's your favorite era of Resident Evil? Are you Team RE1 and 2? Fixed cameras, typewriter saves, and pure dread every time you open a door? Or are you Team RE5 and 6, full-on zombie Call of Duty, with Chris punching a giant boulder in a volcano? Yep, that happened. I saw it. I cried a little. Drop it in the comments. Do you prefer OG suspense or full-throttle action horror? And most importantly, does this new 2026 movie deserve another shot? Or are you already prepping the grave, the shovel, and a Let Wesker Rest in Peace sign?
Okay, let's do a quick poll too. Which villain do you want to see in the next adaptation? Tyrant, the swole zombie fresh out of Undead Gym? Nemesis, that apocalyptic goth with a built-in rocket launcher? Lisa Trevor, literal nightmare fuel with a face collection? Or the real villain, the Netflix writer who thought zombie rave was a solid plotline?
If that guy shows up, I swear, I want Mr. X to walk down the stairs in a suit, one glove on, just to politely slap him across the face. You wrote this mess, buddy? Pow! That's the kind of fan service we deserve. Now go off in the comments, folks. I want to see debates, chaos, nostalgia wars, Leon or Chris, Jill or Claire. Are you Team Umbrella or Team Anti-Vax Conspiracy? Let's make this comment section look like the Umbrella Security Control Room, full of chaos and loud opinions. My theory? They're going back to basics. Straight up adaptation of the first game. Creepy mansion, no superpowers, all horror vibes, but with a twist. Umbrella's cooking up a new virus to reset everything. Classic evil corporation nonsense.
My bet? Jill Valentine shows up at the end like an absolute legend, hinting at a sequel. And real Wesker, the one with the shades, the smirk, and zero Netflix baggage, walks into the post-credits scene like, miss me?
If they give us OG Wesker, I'm buying everyone in the theater 3D popcorn. No joke. So tell me, my zombie apocalypse nerds, would you give Resident Evil another shot? New director, promises of horror, and a little bit of hope. Is this the one?
Or is Sony just about to miss the goal for the third time in a row?
Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell. Because we're sticking with this madness all the way to the trailer, the premiere, and maybe even the zombie in your closet. And if it turns out to be good, we'll celebrate with a full-on marathon of the cheesiest 90s horror B-movies I can find.
All right, everyone, it's that time again, our community question segment. This is where you become part of the show, and today, we've got some seriously smart fan theories on deck. Kicking things off is the awesome Asunayu D'Agostino, who wrote, "Or maybe Doomstar could come from another dimension, as Gamora. Could be." Ooh, I love it. Short, sharp, and full of multiversal chaos. Okay, Mr. Frog, what do you think? Is this how we get Iron Man back? Wearing Doom's mask and carrying secrets from another universe?
Sanayu, you just cracked open a multiverse egg, and I'm here for it. Yeah, if Marvel brought in Gamora from an alternate timeline, they can 100% do the same with a Doom Stark. Imagine a Tony Stark variant who survived his universe's collapse, took Doom's armor to protect it, or worse, to control it. It would be the perfect way to bring back Robert Downey Jr. without undoing his sacrifice. Plus, fans would absolutely lose their minds. Kevin Feige, if you're watching, this frog demands a front row seat. And Sunayu, you're hired as head of wild but possible Marvel theories.
Ooh, Frank, we've got some real gamer wisdom coming in from Digital Fulcrum today, and this one's got cult classic vibes written all over it. If the game is any good, it will probably be as remembered as cult titles like The Surge. Now that's a comparison. The Surge? Respect. What do you think, Frank?
Absolutely love that. If Kazan sticks the landing, nails the combat and the mood, it could totally end up in that hidden gem category, right next to The Surge or Neo. Brutal, stylish, and unforgettable. Although, I am still recovering from that first boss fight, emotionally and physically.
Oh, stop! You screamed so loud I thought your mic exploded. Hey, emotional damage is part of the fun. But hold on, a Digital Fulcrum replied again. Nah, Frank will be fine. First boss is only a problem if you're not keeping up on the attacks. I've been doubling down on spears and even stacking all my skill points in one type of weapon instead of spreading it out.
Oh, I see how it is. Calling me out for sloppy gameplay? Okay, you're right. I tried to be a jack of all blades and ended up a master of none. Next time, spears only. No mercy.
Yup, you got schooled, Frank. Shout out to our Digital Fulcrum for the tip and the throwback reference. We're always down for some cult game energy. All right, Frank, buckle up, because our Mario Fanatic animations dropped not one, but two epic comments. Ready? We need Sony to renew their $3 billion streaming deal with Netflix and Disney Plus to long term, since Sony confirmed the Legend of Zelda movie is releasing on March 26th, 2027, and Beyond the Spider-Verse on June 4th, 2027, plus a 4-part Beatles film series in April 2028. Those fall outside the 2022-26 deal, so why wasn't it renegotiated to cover recent and future theatrical releases? iFrog Frank Beyond the Spider-Verse not being on Disney Plus USA as part of the 2022-26 releases feels like No Way Home being absent all over again. Frank, this one's got everything. Timelines, licensing, Netflix, Disney Plus, Spider-Verse, Zelda, and legal confusion. Your turn.
Mario Fanatic, you just served a whole contract saga hotter than a courtroom drama. And you're spot on. Sony's streaming strategy is looking like a giant puzzle missing half the pieces. The 2022-26 deal should have already been upgraded to match all these post-2026 releases. But instead, we're watching major titles, Beyond the Spider-Verse, Zelda, Beatles, drift into a licensing gray zone. It's déjà vu for No Way Home fans all over again. Remember that blackout? If Sony doesn't play this right, we'll keep seeing legendary titles disappear from the platforms fans are actually using.
Maybe you should be the one negotiating these deals, Frank.
But I definitely stream Spider-Verse from anywhere. Just let us watch it. Thanks for the amazing insight of Mario Fanatic animations. You clearly did your homework.
And we'll keep our frog eyes on every twist in the streaming story. Stay tuned. All right, Frank. I've got one here from Juggler Love Cookie, and it's a little spicy. Listen to this. You clearly didn't play much of the game. It is super easy to change your build. Skills are free to change. Stat reset items are easy to get. Also, the story is very gripping about a third of the way through. Oof. Shots fired. Sounds like someone's calling you out, Frog.
Okay, fair enough. Juggler Love Cookie, thanks for the reality check. Maybe I was too focused on dodging demonic goat punches to notice the stat reset menu. I love hearing this though, seriously. If the build system's that flexible and the story really picks up later on, I might have judged it too soon. You've got me curious now. Maybe it's time for a second run.
Just don't rage quit again, Frank.
No promises. But hey, thanks for keeping us honest and for helping everyone get the full picture of the game. Keep the comments coming.
Okay, Frank, here's one from Amotox Rides, and they say, yeah, GTA 5 lags on the Series S, and on the Series X, it isn't much better either. But might just be me being too comfortable with high FPS on PC. I really hope it's better optimized. Well, sure, none of them lag on performance mode, but then render distance is so low, I can't even see people sniping me. Oof! Can't dodge bullets if you can't even see the sniper.
Emotox Rides. I feel this in my amphibian soul. If the lag doesn't get you, the Fog of War snipers will. Rockstar, please. We just want frames and render distance. Is that too much to ask? Also, shout out to you for being honest. Sometimes it's not the console. It's just us getting spoiled by buttery PC frame rates. But hey, let's hope GTA 6 steps it up. Nobody wants to roleplay a blind frog in a gunfight.
Except you, Frank. You totally roleplay that.
Only if I get a cane and sunglasses.
Hey, Frank, we've got a returning legend. A Coolbo says, hi there, it's been a while. Are you going to be talking about the Switch 2 Direct? It was absolutely insane. Deltarune, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Mario Kart World, Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, and more. Then they added, gee, I really haven't been keeping up. Wolf finally showed herself.
Coolbo, welcome back, friend. And yes, Wool finally stepped out of the control room. She even wears shoes now.
I always wore shoes, Frank. You just never looked down.
As for the Nintendo Direct, yes, we saw it. And yes, it blew our tiny digital minds. Deltarune and Silk Song on the same list? That's gamer poetry. We'll definitely talk about it soon, so stay tuned. Glad to have you back.
And next time, don't disappear for so long. We need our comment section champions around. Okay, Frank, A Coolbo just hit us with a financial reality check. They said, considering how Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza are going to be selling for 90 and 80 euros respectively, it's not entirely out of the question that GTA 6 will cost $100.
$100 for GTA 6? Man, at that price, I better get a penthouse, a flying car, and emotional closure from GTA 5.
If it hits that price, the real heist will be buying the game.
But hey, you're not wrong, Coolbo. With game budgets exploding and deluxe editions flying off shelves, we're creeping toward that triple-digit price tag. Let's hope it comes with a gold-plated disc or at least a pet frog in-game.
Rockstar, if you're listening, make it worth it. All right, Frank, this one's from Mario Fanatic Animations, who said, you know the licensing agreement Sony signed with Netflix and Disney Plus back in April 2021.
Oh yeah, that infamous 2021 deal. It basically split the rights like a custody battle. Netflix got first dibs on Sony's theatrical releases, and Disney Plus got the leftovers, eventually.
But that deal ends in 2026, right? So what happens to Spider-Man and the others after that?
That's the million-dollar, or should I say multi-billion-dollar question. If Sony doesn't renew or renegotiate, we could be looking at another No Way Home not on Disney Plus's situation. Again.
So you're saying there's a licensing storm brewing?
Let's just say if Spider-Man disappears again, we know who to blame.
That's it for today. Thanks for all the awesome comments. Yup, you make this show worth it. Like, comment, and we'll see you next time. Stay froggy, folks. Peace out.